Welcome to the Mass River Golf Club Kitchen. Today we're going to prepare filet mignon and make a quick pan sauce. So here we have a 6-ounce center cut Creekstone Farms filet mignon. So as you can see, it's still a little damp. We're going to dry it off. Again, anytime you sear anything in a pan or even grill, you want to make sure it's nice and dry in order for it not to stick to the pan. You don't have to use a non-stick pan. You can use aluminum, stainless steel, black steel, or cast iron. So now we're going to season salt, pepper. We fresh grind our own pepper here at the club. Some more salt, a little pepper. We're all set to go. So here I have a pan. It's on a medium heat, medium-high heat. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Wait for it to start getting close to a smoke point. If the pan's cold, you put the meat in, it's going to stick, so we don't want that to happen. And here it comes. Get the right temperature. Put the filet right in the middle. And off we go. This piece we're going to sear all the way around on all 4 sides in order to get it to a perfect medium rare. Take about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on the thickness of it. This one's nice and thick, so it's going to take a little bit longer. So at this point, we're going to lower the heat a little bit. I have some ingredients here so I can baste the meat very nicely. We're going to use about a tablespoon of butter. And here I've got 4 cloves of garlic and 1 shallot roughly chopped. About 3 thyme sprigs in order to add some more flavor. We're going to give it a turn. See, it's built a nice crust at the top. At this point, we're going to add our butter. Let's start browning a little bit. It's going to help add color as well. Throw in our thyme sprigs. Always love that sound. We'll add our garlic and shallots. At this point, we can start slowly basting the meat. It'll help sear more of the top, and I'll start searing down the sides. It's going to help aid the meat being cooked all the way to the right temperature of medium rare. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit. We don't want it to burn. You can smell the garlic and the shallot starting to caramelize. With the butter and the thyme, it's a beautiful, beautiful aroma. We're going to check the bottom here. Go a little bit longer. As you can see, the butter and the shallots and the garlic and it's nice and foamy, adding a nice rich flavor to our meat. At this point, we're going to turn it on its side, start searing off the sides of it. It's got a nice, beautiful crust built up on both sides. this point, we're going to continue letting it cook. Do a little more basting. When the meat's fully cooked to the point where we know it's going to be medium rare, we're actually going to take it out of the pan. We're going to let it rest. We're going to let it rest for a good 5 to 8 minutes before we cut it open. So during that time, we'll make a pan sauce. But at the same time, you want to allow meat like this to rest a good 5 to 8 minutes. If you're going to be carving a larger, like Chateaubriand or a prime rib or a large piece of meat, you want to have that rest at least 15 to 20 minutes minimum, or so it will begin to bleed very quickly. And you'll actually have the meat be very dry. So it's not going to be served perfectly hot. You can actually take it out of the oven at your desired, just before your desired temperature, because there'll be some carryover cooking. And then at that point, you want it rest for at least 15 to 20 minutes on a large piece of meat, 5 to 8 minutes on a smaller piece, so that it actually relaxes and absorbs all the meat juices right back into it. Same thing with a turkey. The turkey you want to take out of the oven a good 20 minutes to a half hour before you're going to carve it. So that way it doesn't, we say bleed it, juice out all over on your cutting board. You can see it's getting caramelized all the way around. From the basting's actually helping a lot as well. This is my favorite way of having a fillet or a steak, is to do it in a pan with a nice, really, really charred crust on the outside, a little more than the grilling does. For our sauce coming up, we have 2 tablespoons of butter, a few sprigs of thyme, some fine minced shallots, some burgundy red wine, and also a little bit of chicken broth. You can use either a fresh chicken broth or a packet or even a bouillon cube, whatever you might have in your house to make it easy enough. If you have beef broth, you can use that as well. Give it a little bit more of a deeper flavor. Our last turn here, we'll give it a little feel to see how it is. Right about rare, still about rare right now, so a little bit more time on it. We're going to continue to keep basting it. That makes richness and crispiness on the outside of it. As always, we're going to flip it back down to the one side here. Continue to sear it there. We'll get some more of that beautiful sear. The garlic and shallots get a little dark at this point. So remove them out of the pan. The flavor's in the oil and butter. Just let it continue to cook. I have cooking on one of our 2 new stoves we got during the off season this past year. These are Jade Titan series. They are beautiful. They are very powerful. Much sooner than the units that they replaced. So let it, a little more basting, flip it over one more time to the other side, and let it baste a little bit, and then after this point, we're going to let it rest for a little while. Okay, so the meat is actually here resting. Nice and easy, nice and calm, but you can see it's a beautifully seared piece of beef. We have our pan. I discarded all the insides of the pan, but you can see there's some dark spots here. That's actually natural juices that have stuck. We want those in there. At this point, we're going to add some butter. We'll let those butter melt. And I've reduced the heat down to like a real medium at this point. You want to use butter at this point as well to make a sauce. You really want to use oil for this sauce because the butter will actually become incorporated into the sauce itself. So we're going to add our shallots. If you have trouble mincing your shallots real fine, you can always just slice them real fine. It's good too with a knife. It's a little bit harder to mince for you, that you can always just get ahead and do it that way. We're going to add our sprigs of thyme in. I'm going to throw it just a little bit. Letting the shallots sweat very nicely. We have a beautiful sweet onion flavor that comes up as you're cooking them a little bit at a time. We use a lot of thyme and shallots in the kitchen. A lot of the sauces and the reductions are actually thyme, shallots, white or red wine, lemon, vinegars, in order to make reductions for a lot of the sauces. That's kind of what we're doing right here. We're making a reduction. So now at this point, we're going to add our red wine with a little bit of foaming action. So the butter solids have started to change. We're getting a little bit of nutty flavor. And our red wine. And if you have whatever red wine you have at home, you don't have to open it. At this point, you can also have a glass of red wine while you're making the sauce in order to have a good time. So we want the red wine to reduce by a good half what you started with. So we started about a quarter cup. We want to bring it down to about 1/8 of a cup. We're getting close. Reduction just about there. Alcohol's been burned off, and a nice rich red wine flavor coming through. At this point, we're going to add our chicken broth. About a quarter cup. You can see we have a nice light sauce coming together here. Look at the bottom of the pan, you can see where that one area where everything was stuck to it. That's called fond. The fond has actually been released, so some of those natural flavors are coming out of the pan to really give it a nice bold flavor to the sauce that we're making. So we're going to check our filet. Looks really nice. You can tell by how much spring back it has. Nice and medium rare. We had at this point plate the meat. It's still warm. We're going to put a little bit of the hot sauce over top to really heat it. The outside's going to be a little bit cooler, but the inside's going to be still nice and warm. If you serve it hot, again, it'll start bleeding all over. You don't want that to happen. And our sauce is ready to go. We'll move the thyme up out of the way. We have a nice, beautiful red wine sauce. We're here, ready to go for you. Pour right over the top. And there we have it. Here we have our wonderful filet mignon with a pan-made red wine sauce. Thank you for joining us today in the Mass River Golf Club kitchen. Look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.